How to build wealth on a low income. Machiavelli's 10 brutal strategies. 1. Stop trying to look successful before you become successful. Most low-income people destroy their future, trying to maintain an image. They buy expensive clothes, phones, cars, and lifestyles to gain temporary respect from people who are equally struggling. Machiavelli understood that appearance is often used as a weapon, but he also understood timing. A poor man pretending to be rich is not powerful. He is vulnerable. Wealth is built in silence long before it becomes visible. The first brutal strategy is learning how to delay the need for validation. Stop spending money to impress people who will forget you tomorrow. Real wealth begins the moment your ego stops controlling your wallet. 2. Learn to think long-term while everyone else thinks about survival. Low income traps people into short-term thinking. They only focus on this week's problems, this month's bills, or temporary pleasure. But wealth is created by people who can see years ahead while standing in difficult circumstances today. Machiavelli believed that powerful individuals always think beyond the immediate moment. If you only react to emergencies, you remain controlled by life forever. You must begin making decisions based on where you want to be in 5 years, not where you are emotionally today. The poor often stay poor because they never escape survival mode mentally, even when opportunities appear. 3. Your environment is either building you or destroying you. Most people underestimate how dangerous their environment is. If everyone around you wastes money, avoids discipline, mocks ambition, and celebrates mediocrity, eventually you will become exactly like them. Machiavelli understood the influence of association. Weak environments create weak thinking. If you constantly surround yourself with people who normalize struggle, financial growth becomes almost impossible. Sometimes the fastest way to improve your future is not increasing income immediately, but reducing exposure to negative influence. The people around you shape your standards without you even noticing. 4. Control emotions before trying to control money. Many people believe they have an income problem when in reality they have an emotional problem. Fear causes hesitation. Ego causes overspending. Impatience destroys consistency. Envy leads to reckless financial decisions. Machiavelli understood that power always belongs to those who can master themselves first. A person who cannot control emotion will eventually lose control of money. Financial discipline is not about numbers alone. It is about psychological stability. Wealth grows best in calm minds, not emotional ones. 5. Become valuable before demanding high income. The world does not reward need. It rewards value. Many people desperately want wealth while refusing to develop rare and useful skills. Machiavelli believed that power comes from becoming necessary. The more valuable your abilities become, the more difficult you are to replace. Low income often changes when a person becomes highly useful in a specific area. Instead of focusing only on making quick money, focus on becoming someone whose skills solve expensive problems. Valuable people create leverage, and leverage creates income. 6. Save aggressively, even when the amount feels small. Most people underestimate small savings because they are addicted to immediate results. But Machiavellian thinking understands accumulation. Power is built slowly before it becomes obvious. Saving even small amounts consistently creates stability, discipline, and future opportunity. A person with savings has options. A person without savings becomes desperate and easily controlled. Wealth is not built only by earning more. It is built by keeping what others constantly waste. Small discipline repeated over years becomes financial power. 7. Avoid the trap of constant comfort. Comfort is dangerous when you are trying to escape poverty. Entertainment, distractions, endless pleasure, and laziness quietly consume years of potential growth. Machiavelli understood that survival and advancement often require temporary sacrifice. The brutal truth is that many people remain financially weak because they are addicted to comfort, while claiming they want success. Wealth usually demands periods of isolation, discipline, learning, and delayed gratification before rewards appear. The people who can tolerate discomfort longer often rise above those who constantly seek pleasure. 8. Never depend entirely on one source of income. Dependence creates weakness. Machiavelli believed that power always requires alternatives and strategic positioning. A person surviving on only one income source is vulnerable to collapse at any moment. One job loss, one emergency, or one crisis can destroy years of stability. Wealthy individuals understand the importance of multiple streams of income because it creates protection and leverage. Even starting something small on the side can eventually create freedom. Financial security begins when survival no longer depends on a single door remaining open. 9. Study human nature because money follows people. Money is deeply connected to psychology and influence. People who understand human behavior often create more opportunities than those who only work hard physically. Machiavelli spent much of his life observing how people react to fear, ambition, trust, greed, and desire. If you understand what people want, fear, or struggle with, you can position yourself where value naturally flows. Business, marketing, leadership, and sales all depend on understanding human nature. The person who understands people will always have an advantage over the person who only understands labor. 10. Accept that nobody is coming to rescue you. One of the harshest truths about wealth is that most people waste years waiting for rescue. They wait for perfect opportunities, rich relatives, government support, lucky breaks, or external validation before taking action. Machiavelli understood that survival belongs to those who act decisively under imperfect conditions. Wealth begins when responsibility becomes fully personal. The moment you stop expecting rescue is the moment you become dangerous in a productive way. You begin adapting, learning, taking risks carefully, and building your future with intention rather than excuses. 11. Use silence and observation as financial weapons. Most people talk too much about their plans and move too little. Machiavelli understood that observation is a form of power. When you constantly announce your goals, purchases, or ambitions, you invite unnecessary opinions, envy, and distraction. Quiet people often notice opportunities that loud people miss because they spend more time studying patterns than seeking attention. Financially successful individuals are usually strategic observers. They learn how people behave, where money flows, and which industries are growing before everyone else notices. Silence also protects focus. The less energy you spend proving yourself, the more energy you can invest into actually improving your situation. Sometimes the smartest financial move is to stay quiet, work consistently, and let results speak long after people underestimated you. 12. Build discipline stronger than your motivation. Motivation is temporary. It changes with mood, energy, emotion, and circumstances. Machiavelli believed that lasting power comes from structure and discipline, not emotional excitement. Many people begin financial journeys with enthusiasm, but stop the moment life becomes difficult or progress slows down. Wealth creation requires systems that continue operating even when motivation disappears. You must learn how to save when you do not feel like saving. Work when you are tired, and remain focused when distractions become attractive. Discipline creates stability, and stability creates momentum over time. The people who eventually build wealth are rarely the most inspired. They are the ones who continue executing long after excitement fades away. Wealth on a low income is not impossible, but it requires brutal honesty and psychological discipline. Most financial struggles are not caused by lack of intelligence alone, but by emotional decisions, weak environments, poor habits, and short-term thinking repeated over years. Machiavellian thinking teaches that survival and power belong to those who can think strategically, while others react emotionally. Building wealth does not begin with luxury or high income. It begins with control. Control over spending, emotions, time, habits, attention, and environment. The people who eventually escape financial struggle are usually the ones willing to endure temporary discomfort while everyone else seeks comfort. They understand that discipline creates freedom, patience creates leverage, and consistency creates power. In the end, wealth is not built through dramatic moments, but through calculated decisions repeated quietly for years, while the rest of the world